All right, we're recording here.
We're recording.
Everything works for you?
I don't know. It feels cramped over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tina and Anderson Show.
Hey.
Is episode is this episode 13, I think? Or is it 12? I can't remember.
I feel like it's 12.
Thank you for coming into episode after 10 episodes.
Well, then that would be 11.
We lost count after 10. That's how many. Thank you guys for tuning in again. I appreciate it. For those of you who are still with us, again, thank you so much for just sticking with us. We really, really appreciate it as we just continue to get better and better at this and creating more content. And if you guys follow Tina on TikTok and then all of a sudden you don't see her posting anymore, is because she tried to delete it to reinstall it because it was acting wacky, and now she can't install it.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So with the whole,
I didn't know about the fine print.
yeah, with this whole thing
TikTok
with
thing.
TikTok and the US and all of that stuff. So as you all know, it was like down for like a day or like half a day.
Like a day. Everyone
Yeah.
was like, can you
But
believe
I'm still
it?
on there, and you can still follow us on Instagram. So we really appreciate the follow. So you can see clips of our episodes and comment, like, and share.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so today we're gonna talk about. So for those of you don't know, I'm a big fan of Christian hip hop. It's rappers that rap about their faith, and unlike regular Christian, or in other words, secular hip hop artists, not regular Christian, regular hip hop artists and secular hip hop artists. Christian hip hop artists are kind of like held in a different standard. They don't make nearly as much money, but they have a different standard because they're representing the faith, and they're kind of like ministers using music to minister, right? So they're held in a different different standards. So we're gonna talk about Brian Trejos, who is a rapper from Kingdom Music, and it's good music, so feel free to look him up. He's a really good rapper. And big news in the Christian hip hop circle is Brian. He stepped down from Kingdom Music label because he was not. What's the word? I don't want to say cheat. I don't want to say. Well, I said the word. Well,
So say it because you said
he
it.
was not he was not what is the opposite, like when you don't cheat you are he was not very faithful to his wife.
He was unfaithful.
Yeah, he was unfaithful to his wife. And I mean, when you're in the ministry, which is Christian hip hop was his ministry, when you're doing something like that, you're really not a good look when you're going out there rapping. Now if you're a regular rapper, and you're signed to a label and you're out there performing like 50 Cent or something like that, and you cheat on your wife, people are still going to listen to your music because you're not held to that standard.
Well, their music is also, like based off of like the Bible and Jesus's teachings,
Right.
Which marriage is clearly in the Bible,
Right.
and part of following Jesus. So
There's not being unfaithful.
right. So like when he's basically has a ministry.
Wait a minute.
What?
Let me say that. You said, and part of being a Christian, and I said not being unfaithful. Sorry. Being faithful is part of being a Christian.
What? Why are you having such a hard time with this word?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So he openly acknowledged that several years ago he made choices that led to sin. He has taken full responsibility for his action and offers a heartfelt apology to all affected, particularly his wife and family. Brian is actively pursuing repentance and is focused on restoring his relationship with God. So yeah, that's the most important thing right now, is to restore his relationship with God. Now, is his family going to be restored? We have no idea. I would say that's mostly up to his wife, because when you make vows, in front of friends, family, and God, you're expected to not break them.
Yeah, to uphold those vows.
And
Yeah.
when you do, it causes harm. She was home with her children while he was away performing, thinking, here's her, being proud of her husband. He's in a career he loves. He's in hip hop, and he's rapping, and he's traveling, performing, and doing it for God. I mean, a wife would be proud. But then to find out that for years he was unfaithful, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
That's gotta hurt real bad.
That's the big one right there,
So-
and to, to think that you're married to like a man of God, and so much a man of God that he has his own ministry.
Yeah.
And probably thinking that this is the kind of stuff she doesn't have to worry about because she's married to a Christian.
Yeah.
Who follows the Bible and follows the teachings, and then to
Right.
get like slammed with that, it's like,
Yeah, so it says here, Monica, who is Brian's wife, cheerfully alleges that Brian has been cheating their entire marriage after hearing from various sources. He has built our family on lies, she said. She calls Brian a liar and a manipulator. Monica goes on to explain that she believes while she's at home taking care of the kids, he is out with other women.
oh, great.
It is unclear who these outside sources are at this time. So it says Monica alleges he isn't a father to their kids and claims her kids would say the same. The only pictures you see of him and those kids are in that moment. That's the only time he is with them, is to take the picture. Nothing else. He ain't been to a park with us in 11 years.
He's a fraud.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a fraud, and if he thinks God does not see this,
here is like the collateral damage that something can cause, and so I hope that Monica really stays like really faithful to God, and really, because when something like that happens, I'm sure you can agree with this. It can really destroy a woman's faith in men. Like, how can she ever trust a man?
oh, it can totally flip a woman's perspective of men and dating and then marriage.
Right.
And like it has just completely flipped like how you even think about any of those things.
Yeah.
Here she is, she's been married. Clearly she like wanted to be a wife, wanted to be married. And now that's probably been flipped because like, how do I trust anybody else?
Right. Yeah. And then and same thing with his children. I mean, it doesn't say here, if he has sons and daughters, or just sons or just daughters, but let's just say he does have daughters, or any man that does this has daughters. You are your daughter's hero, right? She looks up to you. You're the first man in her life that she looks up to feel safe and to trust, and you totally destroy that, and you destroy that. So when the man who's supposed to be the number one man in her life for most of her life until she becomes an adult, if that image of that man is destroyed, it's going to be very hard for her to see another man in that light, another man that could be her hero, someone that she can feel safe around. It would be hard. So this is, when men are in a weak moment, this is where like men need to start playing these things in their head. Like, what would this do? Is this worth it? For this, moment of pleasure, is it worth it to to cause that kind of harm that could last like years, sometimes a lifetime. You know, and to really throw all that away, you gotta, you know, he had a wonderful woman that was home with his kids, taking care of his kids. The only woman in the world that would do that. And you just toss that aside.
Yeah.
For moments of pleasure with women who probably could care less, who probably just think it's cool because you're a rap artist, Christian or not, you're a rap artist, you know, and you're signed to a label, you're traveling the world, you know, and women are going to be attracted to that. That's where you got to, you know, this is where men need to set boundaries. You got to set boundaries.
And like, I mean, you have to like find strength in how to resist, you know, temptation. Right. And like people talk about like, well, see, toxic masculinity. Like, no, masculinity would have been if he was strong enough to be in a situation where there was temptation and he like defeated it. Right. That would be masculinity.
Yeah. Masculinity like, is not going out banging a bunch of women.
You know, that's
not masculinity.
The term toxic masculinity makes zero sense because if you are toxic, you are not masculine. Yeah. You're giving up your masculinity to, you know, to temptation and cheating and being weak. You know, if you have, you know, the strength to resist that kind of stuff, then you're masculine. Yeah. You know, like people, this whole term toxic masculinity has like flipped the whole term of masculinity like on its side. And now like nothing makes any sense. Right. You know, it's crazy, but it's, you know, if you're a strong enough man to first off not put yourself in a situation where there is even going to be temptation, okay, then you are masculine. Right. That's a masculine man. And then if you happen to be in the face of temptation and you have resisted it and you haven't fallen for it, then you're masculine. Right. Like this is what the definition is completely warped now.
I think, not to really get off too much, but I think this is why so many men look up to Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne has in the comic books, he has like the strongest willpower. Yeah. You know,
yeah, it's about willpower, really.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of men look up to that. So I would just want to, she did put up she did post an update, his wife. So this was on January 3rd was update. It says, I know I went public. I know it was the most devastating moment of my life. And I truly believe I lost my mind that very moment. And everything sane went out the window for the moment. So just want to scroll down. It says, again, I know I put it out there. The more time that passes, the more my heart is trying to soften. And I believe it's only because I really do love God. So she goes on to say, I don't know how this story will go because life really feels over. But God got a hold of my heart last night for someone I hated more than I've ever hated anyone in my life. Yeah, she ended up hating her husband.
Well, I mean, I would say that like the worst betrayal is like when you're married and the spouse cheats. Yeah. I think it even heightens it even more when it's been over a long period of time. And she's talking about their entire marriage is what she said. So that is like betrayal from like beginning to end. Right. The whole thing was a betrayal in like an act, like he was acting the whole time. Right. Just acting the part, like husband, father.
Right. We're bringing this out because, I mean, we're talking about this because they put it out. I mean,
it's public.
She posted it on Facebook. If somebody told us privately, we would never talk about this on the podcast, but they put it out there. That's what we're talking about. About it, and
made it public.
I don't know Brian Trejo. I don't know him personally. I've listened to his music, and it's good music. It's really good music. He's a talented artist, and and right away, your first thought is this guy's a jerk. This guy is not good, and he's a punk, right? These are your first thoughts.
Yeah.
But I really truly believe this man was weak, and he let himself be weak, and he kept telling himself it was okay. And it wasn't. And now he's suffering the consequences. He pretty much lost his family. Now when it comes to, cheating, I've said this before, I know in a lot of, I know in the Catholic faith, divorce is not good. You don't divorce, right? It depends on, we're non-denominational, and we know divorce happens. God does not like divorce. He does not. But God does not like infidelity. And when somebody breaks a vow, he does not like that also. It is also a sin.
Right. Or if there's like abuse or
exactly
physical, mental,
so I would
verbal.
totally understand if Monica wanted to leave him. Totally understand. It seems from what she said, he was the pictures with the kids. That was it. He was there for the pictures. He never was around the kids.
Photo op.
So it was like she really is not going to be losing. It's not like their kids are going to be losing much, especially when you heard what their kids said. And so, the only thing I think she would lose is just, possibly her trust in men, and then her kids, trust in men also. And
they're losing their father, who doesn't seem to have been very involved.
No.
From the get-go. So he was already failing them anyways. Because as a father, you have to put in a lot of extra work to make memories with your kids, to make sure that your kids know that they're safe, that you're going to make sure that the family's taken care of, blah, 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 that you hold the family together,
right?
And the kids didn't sound like they had that in the first place.
Right.
And now this is like the ultimate, cutoff.
Right. And
so, he's failing his kids because his kids need a father figure in their life, because a father figure is extremely important within the family structure.
Right.
So if you look at statistics,
yeah, I think,
it's a shame.
It just shows like right here when it comes to like people in the faith and people who have a ministry. You can't put your ministry over your family. You can't. No. It's like, it was also his job. I don't know if he added any other jobs. There are Christian rappers who are signed who do have normal jobs, because they don't get paid like, like a Snoop Dogg and an Eminem. They don't get paid like that, right? There are some that get paid really well and can do it full time. But what I got to say is, this is just shows like, when you're in a ministry, you can't be married to your ministry. A man's first ministry is his family.
Yeah.
I would, it's more rewarding to bring your family to Christ and see them, your family, disciple their own families as they grow. But when you're out ministering to other people and trying to bring other people closer to Christ while ignoring your family, it's not. I really don't think it's a good thing. Your family does need you. Your family needs you.
Yeah.
That your family is what is going to help you grow in your ministry and make you even better.
Mm-hmm. This is why the Bible's teachings are what the Bible's teachings are. Because it's for your good.
Yeah.
So healthy marriage. This is why infidelity is a sin.
Right.
And divorce is a sin.
Yeah.
And because if you're doing the opposite of that, happy family, happy kids, healthy marriage is only going to benefit everybody. So.
And divorce. Not a lot of divorce. Hardly ever leaves everybody happy. There's might be a few.
Yeah.
A few divorces where everybody's happy, but for the most part, everybody isn't happy. Somebody's hurt. Mm-hmm. In this case, she was hurt.
Yeah.
So I pray that. I pray that he repents, and because he lost his family and his ministry. He lost it all. I don't know what is he gonna do for work. I don't know how he's gonna get back to where he was, but he lost it. He lost him.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Couple of minutes of, pleasure or whatever.
Right. However long it was.
However long it was. Was it worth it?
So
Probably not.
So, if you guys are listening, pray for him, pray for Brian, pray for his wife, Monica, and pray for their children. It's all very painful, very painful. I didn't see the video, but I saw a still shot from the video, and she looks devastated.
Yeah.
Devastated.
Of course.
All right, so we got two reels, or actually one TikTok, one reel. It's the same thing, whatever.
Thing.
That we're gonna go through. So one is about
What?
What is about like being romance? It's like romancing your woman, and if that's romancing her, is if it a good thing or not. So we're gonna listen to it, and then we're gonna just discuss it, react to it, and see what we think. I haven't watched the whole video. I watched a part of it, but I haven't watched the whole.
He hasn't seen the whole video.
Well, because I want
seen the video
because I want to react like to it like
okay.
you. That's why. So
okay. Like me.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Why is romantic love such a bad thing?
Because it puts unrealistic expectations on a relationship. Romance is about whining and dining. It's about, and let's be honest, romance is about making women happy. There's nothing in the romantic model that says a man has to be happy at all.
Yeah.
The romantic model says a man has to produce. He has to produce jewels. He has to produce nice things.
Right.
Look at the model of how proposals go in the West. Everybody has that image of their mind of a man.
I just want to pause it real quick. So you see how he said there, it's all about the woman, not the man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
because the woman is looking to be romanced.
Yeah.
Is the guy looking to be romanced?
No, but there are certain things that a woman can do to kind of romance him in a man way.
In a man way.
It doesn't have to be sexual, people. Okay, come on. All right, let's continue.
Down on his knee, bearing a gift, jewelry that's supposed to represent 3 months of his salary. It's all set up. It's all arranged in advance. That's romance. Romance is laying rose petals at her feet. Romance is talking to her.
Worshipping women.
It is a worship. Gee.
I want to say one thing, though, before we continue on. I don't want to be pausing too much. If I just want advice, if anybody, if there's any dudes here that are listening that are single or you're dating, if your girl puts a price on a wedding ring or how much how much of your salary you should spend on a wedding ring or engagement ring, she ain't the one. She ain't the one.
Run the other way.
She should be happy because of the commitment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What could go wrong there long term? If you start a relationship with that kind of unrealistic expectation, that only thing that matters is elevating her. The only thing that matters is her happiness.
And that's why you get these women saying they fell out of love.
Absolutely.
Because they came in with the expectation of romantic love.
And women are particularly romantic. Men are.
Yeah.
Men are the romantic ones. I work with couples. I work with men post-divorce. It's always the men that are devastated. The broken heart. I mean, I see it affects women too, no doubt. But for most guys that I work with, by the time the divorce rolls around, she's doing well. Got a new boyfriend.
Right.
Probably had one before they ever broke up. She monkey branched right out of it. And women tend to do their grieving while they're in the relationship, and then they're done. And then a guy is like, oh, it's over now. Then he starts grieving.
Yeah. So
interesting stance.
Yeah. So a few points, like what he was saying, like, all right. I don't think there's anything wrong with I don't want to say put you on a pedestal, hyping up my wife. She's my wife. She's the mother of my children. She's the one I chose to spend the rest of my life with.
He's acting like that was a bad thing.
But what I think where he's coming from is it makes me think of the happy wife, happy life type of thing. Her happiness is important. Nothing else is important. My job is to make sure I can make her happy all the time, no matter what. That's what I
And
think
then the
he's
second
trying to.
she's not happy, she wants a divorce.
Yeah,
She's,
you're doing all this
Yeah.
for her, and the moment you stumble doing stuff for her, she's gonna notice, and she's gonna think, okay, you're backsliding. What's going on? You used to do this. Like, we go away twice a year without the kids. So it's like, if I was doing that every year, now all of a sudden one year I was like, hey babe, I can't take you on a trip twice this year. We're gonna just do one. I can't. And then you're like, whoa, what's going on?
yeah, me, I'd be like, that's fine.
Where, and like, this is not good.
Yeah.
Like, you take me on one trip this year, not two.
Yeah, someone's gotten spoiled.
Yeah,
Someone's
exactly.
become very spoiled.
And then he says, like, yeah, 70 to 80% of divorces is initiated by the woman,
Which is true.
and they blindside these men. And like he says, they're grieving during the relationship, right? So when they decide they want to leave, the guy is blindsided, and in their mind, they're like, why are you blindsided? This relationship hasn't been good. Like, in your mind, it hasn't been, but in his mind, everything's been going good because you don't communicate. But women say men don't communicate, but we don't know. But you think, women are like, if I'm not happy, he needs to notice. He has to have this sixth sense to notice when I'm not happy. I'm sorry, a lot of times we don't.
Don't notice. You gotta say something.
Unless you're not talking to us and you're giving us attitude, then we ask, and you say nothing, and then where are we supposed to be? Right?
It's funny because a lot of women say, because everybody knows that statistic that most divorces are initiated by the woman, but then the women will say, well, why do women want to divorce the men so bad?
Right.
Like, well, that's the men's fault.
Not every man is Brian Trejo.
Yeah. Like, we were just talking about, like, okay, that was a bad situation, but that's clearly not the majority.
No.
And I forget the statistics on reasons why people divorce. Remember, we did a
Well,
it was like,
one was they're growing apart, or they're growing apart.
well,
or
there was infidelity. Wasn't it the first one?
No, it was
Communication.
No, well, communication.
It was like communication was one of them.
And irreconcilable differences, something like that was one of them, which, like, to me is like growing apart.
People think that because of Hollywood and movies that, like, most divorces are because the guy beats the crap out of the girl, and it's like that's not even the top reason. Like, it's not.
I mean,
it's there clearly.
Right, there is good to have some romance in a marriage.
Well, you have to have something to look forward to. Right.
Like, we talked about this before when it comes to like dating and going away. It's something to
be excited for.
It's good to have something to look forward to. But, like, men can't be romantic every day. We can't. Mm-hmm. It's too hard for us. We can be romantic once a month or once every other month. I don't know. But when those moments come, that's when you got to cherish those moments. That's when you got to appreciate those moments. We are, we're separate people. We have separate interests. We have if both couples work, you have separate jobs, and men want to come home and relax and have peace. And it's hard to just be romantic. It's hard, especially if you have kids and you come home and you kiss your wife and you say hi and then you talk to the kids. It's just hard to be romantic all the time and be on point all the time. Do we want to? Yeah, we would love to. We would love to make our wives happy. Look, most husbands want our wives to be happy. We do. Absolutely. But to be romantic, I mean, I think if a man is like over the top romantic right off the bat, yeah, I think that's bad. And I think it could also chase women away too. If you're overly romantic.
Sets like an unrealistic expectation or standard. Have you seen that video that went around social media where it was like, him trying to, be romantic, and it's like he's totally romantic. And then it was like me trying to be romantic, and it's like, hey, hot stuff.
Yeah.
You're the hottest hot stuff all around.
Yeah.
Like, we
Men-
don't know what we're doing.
Men are the ones that initiate. Women
Right,
don't. So when
women
a woman,
don't, yeah.
so women don't know. Men have been doing it. We've been doing it our whole lives. Ever since we've been interested in girls, we've been learning to be the initiator because girls don't initiate. They've
And
been told that the man will come to you.
And that's half the problem nowadays with social media and like people not talking as much in the first place. So now it's like, how much opportunity does a guy even have to approach a girl?
Right.
You know, when like most stuff, and now there's like online dating and
Yeah.
which I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a totally foreign world to us because we've been married for so long and we dated for so long
Right.
before that. We have no clue. We
Yeah,
have no
I mean,
clue.
with this
But
online
it's like,
dating-
how do you talk to each other? Like, do guys still approach girls? Like, do they still ask for your number, or is
Right.
it just like, oh, can I have your Snapchat? Like, I just,
That's a thing also with
It's a
online
thing.
with online dating. If you're a man and you're initiating, and you're typing something, and in your head what you're typing, she's gonna think this is funny, and then when she gets it, she reads it in a totally different way.
Yeah.
And go, okay, this guy's a creep, and then boom, lost.
and that's it.
Like,
That's the whole
'cause
relationship.
because
gone.
she's not reading it the way you intended.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
It's hard
It's
online.
a break. It's a break in communication.
And a lot of women who do online dating, oh my God, it's like a one strike you're out. The one little thing, there are videos of women just pretending to scroll, and they could be like, oh my God, this guy's everything, great hair, great eyes, he's in shape, great job. Oh, wait a minute, he wears black socks. Never mind.
Scroll.
It's like it doesn't matter whatever you do. So on this online dating is tough. But yeah, so to be romantic. I mean, men should be romantic. It should. I think women love that. But I think overly romantic. I think this is what this guy was trying to say. Is he shouldn't be overly romantic. But I also think women shouldn't. I really don't think women should have these high standards on how romantic a guy should be. But there's a lot of women say,
Well, if it has anything to do with money, then you're like,
right.
There
are women out there that would think if a man opens the door for me, is very sweet and very nice, and I like that about him. But then there's other women who goes, I'm not going to think anything of it, because if he opens the door for me, that's the bare minimum. He should be doing that. So, okay, what about no guy opening doors for you at all? It's like this bare minimum bull crap is so dumb.
There's the extreme to that too with feminism, that like if you open a door, they're like, excuse me, I can do that myself.
Right.
Like,
so
that's an insult that you think I can't open in my own door.
Right.
Like there's just so much going on now.
Yeah. Yeah, so so that's why men are confused. You got MGTOW, which is men going their own way, which is like a whole other thing. We'll probably talk about another thing.
What now?
MGTOW, which is men. It's an acronym for men going their own way. Yeah, it's pretty much like men. Like it's kind of like a feminist. It's like a feminist version for men.
Like
where
they're
men
like,
are like,
they're done with women.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much.
boy.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that kind of movement, but like, instead of trying to come together, see, for us, we want to try to show that men and women are supposed to be together and that can live together. It's just work. It's just work, and it's not easy. Where you got all these, the red pill, the feminist, the MGTOW, all these things like, you know what? We don't need each other.
Right. Imagine if we all just went our separate ways.
Yeah.
Like,
so
we all
I
just
heard,
turned around and walked our separate ways.
And I heard on the news the other day that even not try to get to political. Let's just say there was no abortion at all. The population would still not be growing the way it should be, because men and women aren't dating. Nobody's having families.
Right.
Men are deciding to be single. Feminists are driving men away. Mm-hmm. So it's
focused on career, instead of family, and there's a lot of things working against it. And,
it is, yeah.
And you can't, like the nuclear family. We can't lose the nuclear family.
No. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. I think people really need to learn that
Well, it's
marriage
nonsense.
marriage is a good thing, and marriage is work. It's not just always romance. It's not always sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
It's work.
And if you've been stung by, your husband or your wife, to write off women entirely or to write off men entirely.
Yeah.
And now you hate men. It was one person. They're not all like that.
Yeah.
They're not. Don't let him be the spokesperson for all men.
All right.
Like it's sad.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna move on to the
Moving
last video here, and I think it's gonna be very interesting.
Men struggling to approach and struggling to be recognized by women. So there's an interesting set of stats that 86% of women say that they want a man to make the first move.
Yep.
50% of men are scared of making the first move for being seen as creepy. And
Interesting.
20% of Gen Z say that a man approaching a woman in person always or usually constitutes harassment. So you have a very difficult circle to square
Wild.
here,
Yeah.
right? You have women who still want to be approached. You have men who know that if they don't approach, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if they do approach, they're scared of being seen as creepy. They're concerned that they're going to either upset this girl or that they're going to be part of some Me Too scandal, which
Yeah.
isn't good. And then you have a societal pressure. Lots of men are checking out of the world. And yeah, we need to ask not just why aren't men opening up about this, what can they do to fix themselves, but structurally, how can we actually help men?
It's exactly what we were just talking about.
That's why I said it's gonna be interesting.
How do we continue to procreate if we're fighting all of that?
Right. I mean, it's men are confused. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not a single guy, so
Yeah.
thank God I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
But I
You're
hear,
welcome.
But I hear from a lot of guys, single guys out there. I mean, there are women out there. They're like, why won't a man approach us? Because the men who see these videos online
Social media.
of women calling out men who are not even looking at them. The men are not even looking at them.
And they get 'em on
And
video,
these
and
women
now
get them on
they're a
video and they
creep.
try to make them seem like a creep.
It's got 700,000 views.
So
and,
that's one of the
this
reasons.
is what they're fighting
I
against.
mean, hey, social media is ruining society. This is just
it's
one of
just
the
a fact.
This is just one of the things that are happening. But men are being told, women are asking why men aren't approaching them, but men are seeing everywhere that they shouldn't because they're going to be rejected. They're going to be called creeps.
Or they're going to look a fool.
They could be blamed for harassment. And that's why men don't even it's even gone as far as that when women approach men ignore them because a lot of times men thinks it's trap.
I think it's social media has I don't know, just like put a whole stain on everything when it comes to dating because they have women looking at men as like bad. I mean, look at the whole bear in the woods thing that went around.
Yeah,
and it was like, now hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I want you to think for 5 seconds with your logic instead of your emotion and answer that question again. The bear or the man? Like, and all the girls were saying, I'd rather take the bear because the man is so dangerous and blah, 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 blah. Absolute nonsense.
Right, because every man is capable of harming you, but every bear is not.
Right. Because that's logic, right? That's logic.
Yeah, because women are. I think because women are, they're always watching these true crime podcast, listening to true
it's a
crime
combination
podcasts
of
and videos,
Hollywood,
and
social media. Like it's so sad to have all these things working and building up so much like hate towards men, and it's like, man, women, you're literally going to miss your husband's gonna walk right by you.
Right,
and you're not even gonna notice, because you have this unrealistic hatred of men because of like somebody else's view on it. Like, you really haven't even experienced, that men are bad. But Hollywood is telling you men are bad, and social media is telling you that men are bad. So you're just like hopping on the train.
Right.
And like your husband's going to walk by, your future husband's going to walk by you. You're not even going to notice him.
Yeah.
Because of all the harm that social media has done. And it's just, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've gone mountain biking in the woods,
In
and
the
I ran
woods.
into women who are by themselves.
Oh my God. I was in the woods and I ran into women.
They're by themselves. They're jogging
Yeah, taking a jog.
by themselves, or sometimes
riding a bike.
Sometimes I'll have a dog with them, and I just say I give them a polite wave, and I say hi, how are you? And they're like, good. I'm like, and that's it, and I move on. To me, they don't look freaked out, but if they were freaked out, I'll be like, why do you think this is a trail that a lot of people go on? Why would you be scared to see somebody?
Like, you thought it was only going to be females. If you saw a person, it was just going to be another female. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure if I was a bear, she would have been freaked out.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
Then I brought up the point to somebody who brought up this whole bear and the man in the woods thing. I said, so what happened if they both approached you at the same time? You're not going to see a bear and run to the man. You're going to see a bear and a man, and you're going to run to the bear. And they were like, good point.
Yeah, she would run to
Come
the man.
on.
No matter what.
Come
She would run to
on.
the man.
You don't know this guy, but I think your odds are better.
They would mostly run to the man, so the bear would focus on the man, and then she can't get
Well,
away.
she would be hoping that that they'd be able to help each other get out of this situation.
Yeah.
But you're gonna run to the bear and hope what?
Yeah.
That you and the bear are gonna defeat this evil man? Like, what is the logic behind that? It's such nonsense.
Yeah.
And so many people jumped behind it. Like, I was like, whoa, this is like a freight train. What is
Right.
going on?
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah,
And this is the kind of stuff. And then women are like, why don't men approach us? The bear and the man in the woods.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because men are told that you'd rather be approached by a bear.
Instead of them.
Yeah.
Instead of them coming up and saying how beautiful they think that you are, and would you like to get a cup of coffee sometime?
Right.
Instead, you would rather the bear. Like, come on. It's very sad.
I mean, men are more okay with rejection than women. But if a man went up to you and said, hey, I noticed you over there, and I was just wondering if you wanted to grab a cup of coffee sometimes. If you're not interested, you just be like, thank you, but I'm not interested. That's it. Walk away, live your life. Don't talk about it on TikTok.
See, that's another thing.
Just move on with your life. Let that man move on with his life. That hopefully his next shot he takes, he will get the girl.
See that?
It wasn't
see,
you.
That's
That's how it
another
used to
thing
be.
too. He doesn't know if this girl he's sitting next to at the bar that he wants to talk to, that she has 1.5 million followers on social media, and he doesn't even know that. And she could go report it on social media, and 1.5 million people are gonna see that this creep approached her today at the bar or whatever. It's such a different world now when it comes to dating, men flirting,
Right.
men approaching women. It's been completely flipped on its head.
Right. And it's just sad. I mean, we don't date. We don't know what it's like.
We don't know
what it's like to date, but we're just seeing it. We're just seeing how it is.
We're
and
sitting back
we're just this
man.
is just wild.
This
It should be
is
just simple.
hard. Yeah.
It should just be simple. A man just shoots his shot. He gets it or he doesn't, and then he moves on.
And then
that should be it. That should be the end of story.
You notice in people watching this, you probably know people around you who should not be single, but they still are.
Yeah.
And you're like, why are they still single? They're awesome.
Right.
I don't understand. They should be somebody's wife, somebody's husband by now.
Too picky.
Like, you know someone who, like, you're thinking, how are they still single? How?
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah, people out there are just too picky. They're just too picky. All right, so I think we're gonna end it here. I mean, I know it's been 45 minutes. Usually go an hour, but we kind of just threw this together. It's been a crazy weekend.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really prepare something solid that we can really have a good conversation about. But we're gonna end this here and follow us on Instagram and follow us on our page that we have together. Anderson and Tina.
Anderson and Tina
on
Instagram.
Yeah, you'll see it
at the.
And follow me on TikTok. You can't follow her, unfortunately.
I thought I was fixing the problem. I made it
But-
way worse. And then you got to watch us on YouTube. Watch the whole.
Yeah, so share.
watch the whole thing.
Watch our podcast. Share, subscribe. Like the video. Hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming up.
Comment.
Which is usually every Tuesday. And give us some comments. And again, if there is a subject you want us to talk about,
video about, we'll find a video about it, and we'll just
let us know. We would love to give our opinion on it. And anything else?
No, I think that's
All right.
it.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
Okay, peace.